I am here today with Jack Jones. Jack was my soccer coach at Eaglebrook School. We're in Brunswick, Maine, at his house. And Jack, you changed my life. Do you have any idea how much you changed my life?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to find out.
Yes, you're going to find out. But it really was. I mean, it was one simple little soccer camp. And funny enough, Steve Williams from Granby, he was one of my best friends growing up. He and I both came to the camp. And he had the bright idea when they were getting teams. I think we had 4 teams in our intermediate section. He had the bright idea to separate by 4 people so that we'd play on the same team. So he and I were in the line and we got separated and we ended up both on your team. It was one of the greatest weeks that I'd ever had. I mean, it really was. Everything seemed to just sort of work. I made one move, took a shot, went in the top corner, and that seemed to happen all week long, over and over. And then as a result of that, what did you say to me?
Isn't that how you got your nickname? We called you Bigfoot, or I did, yes. Bigfoot, because they were always going in the goal. And I know, should I say what I said to your father?
I think you should.
When it came to pick you up on Friday, that was Parents' Day, sort of. And I came up to him and said, and I didn't know him at all, and I said, have you ever considered private school? I would love to have your son here. And then I pointed to the ski slopes because I knew you were a skier too. I said, look what else he has going along with the soccer. And your father looked at me and said, are you kidding me? Thinking about the cost of it.
Yeah.
And I said,
he said, do you know how much a public school teacher makes?
And I said, we have fairly decent scholarship here. And I said, you ought to consider it. The next thing I heard, yes.
Coming from a town of 5,000 people, little Granby, Massachusetts, and then going to a place like Eaglebrook, which, granted, yeah, it's a small little, 250 students or something like that, in this little enclave cut into the mountain, but you have kids from everywhere. Mm-hmm. People whose parents you're reading about in the newspapers. The world became so much bigger. So it wasn't just soccer though. I mean, we played baseball. I played baseball.
Yeah, well, that was a bonus because I had no idea that you were a baseball player as well. But you were an athlete. So what can I say? You remember the greatest play you ever made in baseball? I do.
I do. Let's see if we agree. What do you think was the greatest play?
It wasn't a fielding play.
No.
It was a running play.
Yes. Against Cardigan.
You were coming into third base.
Right. Yes.
The third baseman, as he should, had the glove down ready for the tag. You jumped right over the glove on top of the base. Safe. I've never seen that before. Usually they slide into the third, but you took the easy route, the aerial route, jumping right over the glove and hit the bag.
That was sixth form year against Cardigan. Yeah, it was my sixth form year against Cardigan, and that was...
Did we win that game? I forget.
We won that game. We won that game pretty handily, actually. We won every game that we played in baseball. Or we tied one against, Keene or somebody like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have the Jackets.
I have the Jackets, yeah, exactly. Right. And so yeah, we tied one game, but no, we beat Cardigan pretty handily that year, and that was the first inning. First inning, Jimmy Core and Dan Pearl had both made outs, and I hit one to the up to the hill, which was usually a pretty easy triple, and that kid got it in pretty quickly, and I was dead to rights coming into third base, and kind of went to go down. I think the kid went down, and I jumped over the top of him and landed on the base.
It's amazing that we both have the same memory of that play. I specifically remember the hospital because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you had your accident on Christmas Eve at Berkshire's?
On the 20th of December. So.
Because I know I came down to Hartford because you were in the trauma unit. Yeah. And I could, I know you were under a lot of duress, but I could not believe your attitude. It was like you were going to make the best out of this. I remember telling your father at the hospital, I said, you know, I know this is right now, as it seems like a disaster, but he's going to come through this and he's going to be fine. Think about you a lot now that it's gone. You know, I was diagnosed with cancer 12 years ago.
Right.
And when I was told, it was a bit of a shock, but I never doubted that I would beat it. And when I say that, I think of you because I think you felt the same way, that you never doubted you were going to get, there was going to be some benefit out of this. And I have to tell you that in the 40 years of soccer camp, there were only 2 times that I went to parents.
Really?
I don't know, do you remember A.J. Kortoski? You remember the Kortoskis? They were probably after you or something, but
Okay.
they ended up sending their kids to Eaglebrook too. But you were the...
It was only 2.
Only 2?
See, I thought this
only
was like a
2
yearly thing.
kids that, you know, I think it was more than just ability. There was a sense that, I don't know, there was something about you. You weren't a wise guy or anything like that. You just did your thing. You were a Bigfoot.